As if the MAGA Republicans did not debase themselves enough by showing up to Donald Trump's criminal trial, getting dressed up by Donald Trump in long red ties, where they waited outside to attack the judge's daughter and attack witnesses to aid and abet Donald Trump's violation of the gag order in place in a case where Donald Trump falsified business records in connection with hush money payments to a porn star. The MAGA Republicans said, bet, let's up this. Let's go through this humiliation ritual even more. And let's file an amicus brief on behalf of Steve Bannon to try to stop Steve Bannon from turning himself into prison after Steve Bannon was convicted by a jury of his peers. And Steve Bannon said that he was going to testify, which, like Donald Trump claimed he was going to testify, Bannon didn't. The verdict was upheld on appeal, but now the MAGA Republicans, which function like a cartel for Donald Trump to protect Donald Trump's criminals, his criminal crew. That's what the MAGA Republicans in the House are. They're filing an amicus brief. But get this, the amicus brief is an attack on congressional authority. When I was in law school, I took a class from one of the general counsels at that time of the House of Representatives. Congress throughout its history jealously guards its authority as a co-equal branch of government. It does not submit briefs that are saying that Congress did not have authority to act, that Congress did not have discretion, that a witness like Steve Bannon or whoever the future witnesses are can just decide on their own not to show up before a congressional committee without ramifications, without repercussions. Congress guards its territory and authority, but no longer, because the MAGA Republican Party has become a wannabe fascist party, and they don't view themselves as a co-equal branch of government. They don't view themselves as a check on executive authority. They view themselves as aiding and abetting a former president's attempt to overthrow our free and fair election and our democracy. Just take a look. I've never seen, I think in my entire legal career, a more humiliating and embarrassing filing than this one right here. You know, I think Kyle Cheney says it best. He says, before it was filed, he goes, it's going to be curious if the House General Counsel puts his name on this filing, because usually the House jealously guards its interpretation of the rules. So it's an odd precedent to take a position that it's okay to second guess the judgment of a previous House on those things. And then earlier in the morning, MAGA Republican Representative Loudermilk filed on behalf of all the MAGA Republicans a brief urging the Supreme Court to dismiss the contempt case against Steve Bannon, where Bannon was convicted of contempt of Congress. And as Kyle Cheney says, he adopts a striking position for anyone in Congress. If a witness believes that a subpoena is invalid, it's totally okay for a witness to blow off Congress's authority. Congress can be ignored as long as the witness is a MAGA. That's what they're arguing in the brief. So much for law and order. Well, in MAGA world, law and order was gone a long time ago. As Kyle Cheney said, look, there may be a legitimate debate about the way the House handled the ranking member issue. It's bizarre to say, though, that a witness can exercise their own self-serving judgment and simply ignore a subpoena rather than showing up and lodging a protest. Bannon didn't even show up. Bannon could have invoked his Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination. Bannon could have showed up before the House of Representatives and lodged a protest. He didn't show up. He was held in contempt. Then there was a vote to refer him to the Department of Justice. And then afterwards, he goes, wait. Let's cut a deal. Too late. One of the things Bannon's judge, who, by the way, was a Trump appointee, noted in the district court in Washington, D.C., was that Bannon didn't even make the arguments that are being made for him by the MAGA Republicans in Congress to erode their own congressional authority until after he had blown off Congress. And now Loudermilk, MAGA Republican, saying, that's fine, all good. The court considered what Loudermilk says. The court considered Bannon's argument and rejected it. This is what Kyle Cheney says. I think this is important and tells you almost everything you need to know. Remember, the first question I asked is, the general counsel of the House going to sign this? No. Outside attorneys filed this brief, not House lawyers. So they couldn't even get their own general counsel that represents the House of Representatives on these matters to sign their name to this brief, because the filing of the brief is ceding hundreds and hundreds of years of precedent of Congress protecting its authority and right to issue subpoenas. So you may assume that you're getting everything your body needs from your diet or simple green juice. But you know what I recently discovered? That most people, including myself, are still short on essential nutrients our bodies need to function at our best. So I've been taking Momentous Creatine, Omega-3, and Protein daily to ensure that all my bases are covered. You see the pep in my step lately? Those 3 supplements support nearly every aspect of my foundational health, from aiding my cognitive function to reducing inflammation in my muscles and joints, just to name a few. My Momentous daily protocol has become a staple in my health routine, makes the perfect addition to other wellness products that are part of my toolkit. Supplements can feel like a dirty word, and navigating the space can be daunting due to the lack of trust and transparency. But what I've come to learn is that I can trust Momentous, which makes the decision easier. My trust is in Momentous because of their dedication to working with the best, from their collaboration with experts to their unparalleled commitment to only using the highest quality ingredients. They also heavily invest in third-party testing, holding their products to the standards set by the most demanding organizations in the world, including the NFL and the NBA, ensuring that what's on the label is what's in the product and absolutely nothing else. They call it the Momentous standard, which is really the industry's leading standard in quality. There's a reason why the world's best athletes and experts use and help develop Momentous products. And there's a reason I love it. So if you're like me and you want to take supplements that are made by and used by the best in the world, go to livemomentous.com and use the code MeidasTouch to get up to 20% off your first order. That's live, livemomentous.com. Use the code MeidasTouch. That's livemomentous.com. Use the code MeidasTouch. Take a look right here. This is what MAGA Republican Congress member MAGA Mike Johnson, the Speaker, had to say about the filing. Here, play this clip.
Mr. Speaker, I understand there might be a change in position regarding how the House and their stance on the January 6th committee, and it might be regarding Steve Bannon, and it may have a big impact on his contempt case. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, we're working on filing an amicus brief in his appellate work there in his case, because the January 6th committee was, we think, wrongfully constituted. We think the work was tainted. We think that they may have very well covered up evidence and maybe even more nefarious activities. We've been investigating the committee itself. We disagree with how Speaker Pelosi put all that together. We think it violated House rules. And so we'll be expressing that to the court. And I think it will help Steve Bannon in his appeal.
And in that same interview, MAGA Mike's like, looks like Biden's going to get all jacked up at the debate. Here, play this clip.
Like many, I look forward to hearing Donald Trump lay out his vision for the country. It's a positive vision. It's a forward vision. He is excited. I talked to him, spent a lot of time with him last week down at Mar-a-Lago, and then on the phone over the weekend, and he's in a very good place. And I expect that you're going to see a sharp contrast between President Trump's positive agenda and Joe Biden's proven weakness. And I did a lot of media over the last several days, and everybody wants to know which Joe Biden's going to show up. And look, my summary is this. It doesn't matter if he drinks a whole gallon of energy drinks. He's not going to be able to match the acumen and the readiness of Donald Trump. And that's what we expect. Even if
As Matthew Iglesias says, it's interesting that Joe Biden's dementia is most visible in deceptively cropped video clips from the right wing, but easily covered up by performance-enhancing drugs during high-profile extended public appearances. Anyways, I digress there. Just take a look right here. Here is the amicus brief filed by MAGA Republicans to help Steve Bannon, who's been convicted of contempt of Congress for violating Congress rules, to get out of that. That's what they are arguing. Here's what they say in this brief. They go, Representative Barry Loudermilk is a member of the House of Representatives, and here he files the following. Representative Loudermilk is also the chairman of the House Administration Subcommittee on Oversight. In that role, he and his subcommittee investigated the failures at the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. The purpose of the investigations, which continue to this day, is to review and identify the numerous security failures leading up to and on January 6th and review the creation, operation, and results of the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack. In other words, the MAGA Republicans got into power and they created a committee to investigate and attack the committee that was trying to investigate and did a successful job with the Republicans on it, like Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney. But the MAGA Republicans, they spent their time, how do we attack the January 6th committee? How do we go after them who were trying to get to the bottom of what went down? And here's what it says as well. They go through the rules and they go, when the Select Committee was created in the 117th Congress, its establishing resolution stated that the records of the Select Committee shall become the records of such committee or designated by the Speaker. On December 29, 2022, Speaker Pelosi wrote a letter pursuant to that clause directing the Select Committee chairperson, Benny Thompson, to transfer Select Committee records to the committee at the close of the 117th Congress. And by the way, this is all archived, but yet Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans claim that all of the January 6th files have been deleted and destroyed. It's available online, but they go and peddle, no one knows where the January 6th committee files are. It's all been destroyed. And Trump says that you can quite literally Google it. But just so you see what Donald Trump says at his events, here's what he says. Play it.
But the unselect committee of political thugs, the evidence was so bad and so compelling against the Democrats and against the people that are supposed to be doing that job that they destroyed and deleted all of the everything is deleted.
There's a website where this is archived right now, and it had to be moved to archive because the MAGA Republicans were the ones who wanted to get rid of it because they wanted to get rid of the evidence. So the argument here, in the summary of the argument, is the Republicans, the MAGA Republicans, now saying that the House Select Committee was improperly formed and that it improperly sought to subpoena Steve Bannon. And as a result, the Supreme Court must get involved with emergency measures that need to be taken right away to help Steve Bannon. Republicans, their main issue right now is trying to bail out Steve Bannon, who was convicted in a case presided over by a Trump-appointed judge, mind you. Think about it. This is what they're filing. Here's the file. This is from a law and order perspective. The lawlessness here is next level. This isn't, as I've always said too, this is a MAGA thing. This is unprecedented in American history. The fact that they're filing as an amicus brief for Steve Bannon. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.